Hey, what's up? It's Kit. Time for a video today. We're gonna be rigging the Hots Keitan, 200 grams, and we're gonna be using the SJ41 hook, and we're gonna rig two hooks on this one. The braid that we're gonna be using, or the cord that we're gonna be using, is this 240-pound PFZ05 from Cartiva owner. The solid ring that we're going to be using, I'm not too sure what size this is, but let's go ahead and measure it just so you know. We only kind of use two or three sizes. Like for me personally, I only use three sizes of solid ring, so I kind of know what they are, and this is what else. So this is 8 mm, 8 millimeter size solid ring. The split ring is about the same size as well. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna be rigging two double hooks. The first thing I do is actually measure where the hooks would sit, and in this case, if you're looking at this jig, it'll be just below the eye. So we measure not that long. Okay, so measure that, and then you double it up, basically, because we're gonna double everything up. By the way, if you're new to the channel, this channel talks about the hows and whys of fishing. We cover everything from big game, ultralight, everything in the middle, including fly fishing. And we have been rigging a lot of different types of jigs, different types of rigging, because we are doing a jig rigging library. So the whole object of this is people could use the jig rigging library as reference for when they rig their jig. So today we are rigging the Hots Keitan 200, and we're rigging it with two hooks. Now there was a previous video that we did where we rigged a single hook on the Keitan, and now we're doing double. Okay, now the hook, of course, is the SJ41. This is the 11.0 version. Toss the extra there. Okay, so now see how we're rigging this. It will be just at the back of the eye right there. It will sit like that. Okay, like so, just like that. And it'll be one hook here and one hook there. All right, there we go. And if you see the hook, since we're going to be rigging it like that, okay, it'll be like that. Okay, and the first order of business is to splice both of these to the solid ring. And to do that, you need this splicing needle. We have one right here. It's very easy. All you have to do is just run the needle up the hollow. I have to do this because the way our cutter works is that it just cuts it and seals off the end. So I have to kind of bite the part there. Okay. So it has to be here. And we have more tag than we need. I just have to say that, okay? It should be around there. Put our solid ring in here, like so. Okay, take the tag in, then kind of have to wiggle this a little bit. All right, now you can slowly, have to be gentle with this, otherwise sometimes what happens is that this actually pops loose. Okay, what I like doing is to push the braid all the way up before I pull it down, like so. Okay. All right. Now there's always a concern for uniformity here, and what you can do is put both together like so and trim it. Okay. There we go. So equal tips, and you can kind of burn it just so we take all the fuzz off, and you have two equal. And each of these are actually this is 480, so that's quite strong. 480 pounds because it's 240 each. All right. Now, again, just see how it sits there. So you can see we have enough of a tag to actually play with for both. Okay, and it sits there. You see that? The split ring sits there. Now, all you have to do is just tie this up. Okay. So this is the first one. It's going to be easy. Just now, if you see, for the first one, it doesn't really matter where you tie it, but the second one, you have to be kind of careful. Okay, there we go. Now, this has to be tightened. This has to be pulled. Now, I have not brought you in yet, as I usually do, because I want you to see this part because it's kind of crucial. So what we need actually is there, that angle. Okay. Pliers, pull, because what you want is for this knot to be very compressed. And then all we have to do is just bind this. Okay, there's two things that you could do here. Okay, you could do a sloppy job and then use a shrink tube to cover everything. That's fine. We don't do that. All right, so Some people do that. But that is definitely a getaway card if you want. You know, if you're kind of in a hurry or if you just don't care. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do things properly. We're going to bind this, and then we're gonna apply super glue, and then we are going to use shrink wrap to cover everything. Okay. So now with this, a word of note. Now, when you're doing this, and let's say you're not going to cover it or anything, you have to make it look as clean as possible so you cover. Okay? But the reality is, what you need to do is just put enough wraps to ensure that this tag end does not move. And if it doesn't move, what it does is actually hold the tag end like the pliers. And the fish that pulls is like the hook that we just put. And what happens is that it compresses this knot and makes it hold even tighter. And that's the whole reason why we have the binding. And that's why the binding has to be tight. That is it. Now, if you are not covering it with shrink wrap, you don't need, or what you need to do is actually cover the entire thing because it's exposed. And you want to protect that wrap as much as possible. So no gaps, and then super glue. But if you're covering it, you can actually get away with just clean wraps. You can have gaps, you can glue it because the glue will protect that. And then what you do is cover it with shrink wrap. And once it's covered in shrink wrap, the shrink wrap protects your wraps. And that's it. Meaning, like I said, it's a getaway card for a sloppy job in there. Oh, we don't do that. Now, glue, very important. Always a problem with these guys because they dry up. So I always have tissue to clean up the tip before and after use. Because before you use it, there's residue there. Then after you use it, there's glue just to keep things clean. So a good coat of super glue, and that basically seals everything. Now, to conserve this, again, what you need to do before you put the cap on, clean it thoroughly before you put the cap on and store it upright. So we have that, and as you can see, there's a, I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually a drop that's excess. So what I'm doing is just pushing it to the side and to the back here. And that pretty much takes care of things. If you zoom in, you'll see that it's actually pretty clean. Okay, so pretty clean there. And we're gonna use shrink tube to make it even cleaner. Amazon has these boxes of string tube, all in different sizes. So basically, we just want this right there, and we want just a little bit wider so it fits here. And what you do is put the shrink tube, okay, in a pliers right there, and then just open it slightly. Have to, it takes a bit of practice, but you open it slightly like that. Turn. All right, now measure exactly how long it is you need. It's basically half, so just fold this in half. A little bit more than half, actually. Okay, so about 3/4 of the size. Now, okay, if you have this, the accelerant, just spray it so that the super glue is dry. Okay, it's not gonna make it shiny. Look at that, it took the shine off and there's white stuff. That's fine because that's gonna be hidden. So let's go right there. What you want is just for the there we go. As you can see, fits everything perfectly. Now, instead of using this lighter, this type, use a blue flame lighter. Okay, now I'm gonna do it with this one, and then we'll compare it with the other one later on. Okay, so we're gonna do it with this lighter so that you have an idea, and then we can compare. Okay, so it goes like that. Okay, as you can see, it has shrunk. All right, now everything is protected and it looks pretty clean. Okay, now we do the other one. Okay, now this should be pointing out. It should sit pointing out like that. And more of that later. Let us put the other hook so that we can fit it in. Now, when you're doing this, make sure that you're tying it in the right direction so that when you are putting it together, it's not going to go like this, because if you're doing it like this, both of them would be facing this way. So it's very important that you actually tie the hook the right way, which is like that. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna have to flip this upside down like this, so that when we bind it, we put the knot and everything, it faces the opposite direction like that. Okay, so start with this. Okay, right there. That's perfect. Now, we actually need to tighten it. So, again, we take the puller, put it in the eye, don't put it on the other hook, and then we tighten. Okay. All it is so that this is super tight. So when you pull on that, so you can see it's still equal right there. Okay, now put this here because that's dangerous. Now all we have to do is just cut a little bit of this right here, and then bind this. That's a tad too long. Okay, you can go ahead and bind this. Be careful when you're doing this because it's I've gotten tagged by this and it's not fun. These hooks are so sharp. So what I usually do is hook this and then try to make this profile as small as possible, just like that. Then if you want, you could actually tape this so it doesn't move around. All right. Better safe than sorry. I find that tying it upside down sometimes is actually easier. Okay. Don't be lazy. Tie it properly or not. Depends on you. For me, I'd rather actually do a good job that's hidden than a sloppy one. And then regret things later on. So even if these bindings won't be seen, I try to make them as clean as possible and still as tight as possible. Also as straight as possible here. So I use my pliers to center everything. I try to eliminate all the gaps. I try not to actually give myself a reason to doubt or even an excuse, not to do a good job. Alright, so that is almost done. Just a little bit of cleaning up here at the back. Alright, now we just need to do our wraps. Ensure that it is tied down, and then we glue. Again, clean the tip. apply your glue. Don't go overboard. And then we do our, I don't know what size this is, but oh, it says 8. Okay. It says 8 here, the diameter. Okay, so we can't push this over the eye. So to expand it, we put our pliers, okay? And then just slowly open. Don't rush, okay? Just slowly open it. Again, same thing, slowly open. The edges will actually break it if you don't take your time or take it easy. Okay, just stretch it out. You just need a tad bit. For these hooks, these are big eyed and everything, so you don't want that to mess the hook up. Alright, so our glue here just needs to be spread out a little bit. Alright, and then we set it. It took me a long time to finish that off, like a really long time. So now it's finally done. All right, now, all right, here we go. Take this, up and over the barb. Okay, up and over the eye, like so. All right, now, remember I said don't use that type of lighter and we will use a blue flame. All right, now here, so you'll see the difference in a bit. I'll show you. You'll see that the difference is actually quite big. Okay, so there. All right, now that's done. Now, if we actually compare the two, you'll see the difference and why I insist on using the blue flame. I'm going to bring you in, all right? So you can see that this one right here is actually made by the ordinary lighter. Well, this one, it doesn't help that I'm wearing red. Oh my God. So this particular one, you can see there from the back. I don't know if you could actually notice it, but this one right here, it looks dirty. This one looks shiny and it looks clean. The reason being is that this one does not create, the blue flame does not create soot, whereas the ordinary lighter actually creates soot, so that blackens things. Where's this one? Look at that. It looks so clean. All right, all that's needed now is to actually put the jig on the, we'll put the systems on the jig. All right, so Wael only has like the big split ring, so we'll use it. You know, it's all he has. Okay, put this on here, like so. And then we want the hooks pointing out, like so. So we do that. All right, so this jig works well with this hook configuration. Okay, so bring it out. There we go. And that is it. So you can see there. Okay. Boom, just like that. And you want these to actually be just behind the eye, the hooks. All right, because most of the fish actually they will grab it right here. They will grab it just behind the eye, and you want your hook there. Okay. So that's it. That is how to rig a Hots Keitan. Obviously, you could just rig one hook and that'll work perfectly well. But if you want two hooks, this is how you do it. All right. If you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. And that's it. Again, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. It really helps the channel and keeps us going. And if you think that it is useful for your friends to see and learn, please share the video, share the channel. All right, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.